Hey there, I'm a professional musician in Houston, Texas, and I do a lot of parody flyers to promote my shows. And unlike other people that just have straight information of where they're performing and other little details, I try to make my flyers funny and get people talking. So I wanted to create a flyer that is going to use a pop culture reference. And this is the end result that I'm looking for. It's got the venue name, time, it's got the most interesting man in the world, but it's got my crazy face here instead of that other handsome guy. Changed the catchphrase at the bottom, added my logo, put a banner or border around it. So I wanted to show you how you can do that in a few easy ways, especially if you're new to Canva. So let's go back to the main screen. You have all of these options as far as what to work with. I like to work with presentation because it gives you a wider area to work with. But if you know what you're going to be doing, like if it's going to be a YouTube thumbnail, Facebook, or an Instagram post specifically, it gives you a smaller area to work within. And if that's the case, click on that. That way you know exactly the parameters of what you're working within. Show me what you're working with. Okay, but I'm going to go back to the main page. I'm going to click on presentation. I'm also using Canva Pro, so let me just throw that out there. So now we have a huge area to work within. We can always resize it later. And I want to use that image from the campaign of the most interesting man in the world for, was that Dos Equis? So I go to Google and find the most interesting man in the world promo images. Now I'm looking for something that's not going to be overly cluttered or just something interesting that's going to give us some wiggle room. So this image here is good. We can use this. And one thing I love to do is to put my face. That's sort of my signature thing, is I make myself the star, even though I end up making myself look, kind of crazy. But that's part of the joke. So if that's something that you would enjoy doing, you can put your face in there and make yourself the star, and your friends or whoever you're doing this for will laugh and it'll be something to talk about. So this one's good. There's another one where there's some people with masks that I found earlier. So I think this is the good one right here. So I'm going to copy this image. I have an iMac, so I don't know, whatever you're using, you don't need to save it, just need to copy the image. Do a little copy image. Go back to your blank canvas and then paste here. So whenever you paste something within Canva, it automatically goes to your uploads here. And so you can pull it back later. And within the image, you have all of these different little buttons you can push. This one will allow you to make the image larger if you just pull on the corners. If you pull on the side, it will crop it. So let's say we just wanted to get an image of this handsome man. Don't look at me like you know me. Then you just would grab this, pull it in, and then crop Mr. Handsome over there. But we don't need that right now, so we're going to pull it back. So what we need to do, just to get rid of, if you have an image that has any words or whatever in there, we don't need this because we're going to add our own. So make sure you've already clicked on the image and then go up here to edit. Click on that and it'll pull up the Magic Studio. And there's a lot of options, but let's tackle them as we need them, which is the best way to do it. They have a option for grab text. It's so useful because if you want to keep the font but just change what it says, this will help you do that. If you want to sort of keep some continuity from the original. So let's grab text and hopefully it'll grab that Yes. So click on there, grab, and you can pull on the side to make it larger. And I might keep this. So my name's Peter, or Pete, and I want to change. So the whole like joke with this commercial is he's the most interesting man in the world. So I want to change it to I'm the most interesting Pete or Peter in the world. If your name is James, the most interesting James in the world. But let's just change it. So click on there. And by the way, if you click here and go up there, this will show you the font name if you're curious. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to change the font, but let's go ahead and add what we want. So the most interesting Pete, my name, in the world. All right. So let's just use this as a starting point. And again, you have the edges, the corners there that you can use to pull, make it larger. I want to make sure that it fits and locks into the parameter of the image. You don't want it to be like, like that. So nice and tight that way. Okay. And my whole thing with my flyers is I like to add some humor. So instead of this guy's face, I want to put my face in there. So I'm going to scoot this down. And one really great tool that they have, go back to edit, is they have a magic grab feature that will allow you to grab characters, people, items from an image and isolate them nice and cleanly. So magic grab, and it'll highlight what's available to be grabbed. And so this is great, so we can just grab him right there. But if you have an image that doesn't highlight what you want, like, I don't know. If it doesn't highlight something, you can go to brush and get the same effect. You can just scroll all around the very serious man. Just go all around, grab him, and that will take him out of the image. But since it's already clickable, let's let Canva do the work. Click on him, grab. Don't grab me. Now we have the person isolated. So let's move the picture over. Now we can put him off to the side. Let's go ahead and get this a little bit out of the way. So I want to get rid of his handsome face with all that hair. Of course, I'm jealous because I'm, bald. Oh! And so you can use the edges to change the size of it, but we need to get rid of his face. So you can crop it by dragging that lower, but we don't go too low because we want the collar and everything to still be visible. And I'm going to put my face here. Now, if I needed to crop more of this, I can go over to background remover. Do it once, do it twice. Click it again, and it'll bring it to this screen. And you can actually delete, erase all of this stuff manually. Done and done. But I know I'm going to add my mug right there. By the way, I'm having some vodka on the rocks. Ew. It definitely helps me work better. All right, so I'm going to put my face here, so go to uploads, and I've already taken a lot of facial expressions. So I've got some that are sad, happy, a serious sort of mafioso look. I got just a ton to choose from. So I go to my uploads, and I'm going to click face. Now, as you upload your own images, you got your own to choose from, but I'm going to type in face, and it'll pull up, and I have faces from other friends that I've done flyers for that want them to be funny, so they just send me their face pics, kitty pics, and it allows me to make them the star of their promotional flyer. So here's like me just looking sort of smiling but serious. This is the one I want because that sort of matches the guy's energy. So I'm going to click background remover. I'm going to pull down because you want to crop the images. Because if Canva works in layers, and if you see how these are overlapping, it can get a little bit confusing. So make sure that you crop everything as tight as you can. And I need to get rid of this extra stuff that Canva isn't perfect, right? So it's getting better though. So if I need to get rid of this, I go back to background remover, and then that takes us to that other screen where you can start erasing stuff. So I'm going to use a little bit smaller brush, and I'm just going to carefully, it doesn't have to be perfect either, because the image is going to be smaller and people aren't going to be able to see like this little bit of blue there. That's not going to be a big deal. And just keep trimming around there. And just erase all that extra stuff. Let's say you make a mistake. You're like, oh, I erased my eyes. Let's say you made a mistake. Just go back up here to undo or Command Z. I just used the undo there, and it brings you back. So now we've got my face cropped. Hit done. And he's, there's different ways we can do it. He's looking that way. Or we can flip it around. Right up here, there's flip. It'll flip the image. Dealer's choice. I think that looks good. And one of the things I like to do with my characters and all of my flyers is I like to exaggerate certain features to add a little bit of comedic effect. So if the face looks too dead on perfect, okay, that looks too small, like Beetlejuice. Okay, that's obviously way too big, but there's sort of a middle ground from realistic to absurd, and that's where I find the best comedy lies. And so now that I've got my head on his body, I'm going to group it together. So you click, and then the images will come together. Click, drag, and when you let go of the mouse, you'll get these options up here, and you want to hit group. Now everything is together. You can move it, resize it. Okay, that was ridiculous. And if you need to make any adjustments, just click on it, ungroup, and you can start it again. Click, drag, group. Booyah! Now we need to take that image and put it back into the main one. Get him back to the ladies. So we're just going to grab him and drag him over here. Hello, ladies. Okay, but now I changed the size of the image, so I need to grab the corner. Any of the corners will allow you to change a size. And now we need just to get him just right, because his hand was on her leg, hopefully with permission. Oh! And see, I think that's looking pretty good there. We can make it a little bit smaller. All right, that's good. So now we leave it there, and we can group this together again. So click outside of the image, then drag, and make sure everything is included. Release the mouse, and you'll see the group right there. Group it. Now everything is grouped together. Grab the ends, one of the angles here, the corners. The ends, the corners. Take a little sip of vodka. Oh! Drag this down. So for me, this is going to be a show flyer. So I need to add the venue that I'm performing, the time, my name, and of course we got to keep that tagline there. So let's go ahead and knock out these last couple details. So we need to extend a border up top here so we can add the venue name. So if you go over to elements, we want to find a square. So click that. It'll give you a bunch of options. So look at the first one. See this, it's rounded edges. That's not what we need. So delete that. Go back to elements. Scroll a little bit further, and this is a square you want. It gives you the most control because you can crop it top, side, bottom. Make it, you can make it into just a line. Sometimes you just need, sometimes you just want to like accent something with a line. Drag that all the way over. So, but for this, and if you don't want it anymore, click it. If you can't click on something, then you need to move something to get out of the way. So I need to grab the text here, push it up, click on that, and then delete, and then go back. Let's start again. So when we want this to be black, because we want our venue name to be in white and really pop. So click on that, go up here to color. Let's change the color. Canva's going to pull a lot of relevant colors from whatever image you upload. And we want this to be black. So click on black, and everything is built in layers with Canva. So once your element is on top of your image, that means it's layered on top. So you want to left click, and it'll pull up a whole nother menu here and layer it to the back because you want to put this behind the image. So layer to the back. Pull it up, pull it up, pull it up. Drag it over, drag it over. Keep it locked in. Canva's good about showing you where it snaps. And go ahead and pull it down so we have room at the very top and the very bottom to add stuff. Bring this down. And we can grab our image. It's still grouped, so everything is going to stick together. And we can add our venue name up top. So if we click on the bottom and it says we have Radley, which is okay. It's not bad, but I prefer League Spartan. It's sort of a good catch-all that works in any situation. So if you want, you can just take the text you have, click this duplicate icon, move it up here, and I'm going to change this to the venue name, which is the little Irish pub I'm performing at, the Goose's Acre. We need to resize it, so grab the edge, pull it, and we need to add the time. You can always adjust that. So we have this, duplicate, booyah. Time is 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or until the vodka runs out in the goosh. Put a little wiggle room between the actual image and the time, not too much. And a useful tip, if you're using a mouse, it's not as precise as if you click on here and use your arrows on your keyboard. It'll really give you smaller increments and more precision. We can go left, right. And if you see that purple line pop up, that means you're dead center, which is what you want. You want it to be really precise. All right, that's dead center. And this needs to move down a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Let's lower that square that we had. Let's just go ahead and box everything in. And I want to make this a little bit smaller so it'll fit within the boundaries of here. Because that's the joke, right? The most interesting beat in the world. Because you're all right. You got your face there. You got a joke on the tagline that they use in the commercials. If your name is Gabe, the most interesting Gabe in the world, you know. Anything that you can do to create interest in your show flyer or whatever it is to get people talking about it, to get some laughs, I think that's a really positive thing instead of the usual boring stuff. And I have a logo that I use for my shows, so I'm going to go over to uploads and I'm going to type in logo, or that's bad spelling, vodka, logo. And I have different versions of my logo. I want to take this one and I'm going to pull it down to crop the top of it, crop the sides, and the bottom. And I want to put it down here. Actually, I'm going to move this to the side for now. And I'm going to shorten this up. And so what you can do is to be able to resize all of this and move it around, click on the outside of it, drag your cursor over everything inside. Make sure you have everything, because if you leave off one element when you're trying to group something, it won't drag everything. So now everything is grouped, so we can move everything around. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller, and I want to add. So right now everything it's black on the edges, which is cool, but you need a border to really kind of house it, or else it's sort of floating in space. So go back to elements and get another square. It'll have your recently used, so grab another square. And I want to change this color to, I don't know, let's see. There's so many options. Let's go ahead and put the item on top, the square, and remember, go left click, layer it to the back, because we want this to be a border to go around the back of it. Layer all the way to the back, drag it over. It's like a chocolate color. Put it about there. Bring this down a little bit more. Maybe a little bit closer in. I'm just grabbing the edges. And here, I think I'm going to put my logo there. Let's make it a little bit smaller. And if you're not, so I'm looking at this, I'm wondering, is the color for the letters here, are they popping enough? And if you're not sure, like I like the Goose's Acre, I think it's looking good because it blends into the whole vibe here. But maybe since this is the real joke of it, we need to change this to a different color to really make it pop. And I think if we change that, go up here, you've highlighted the text, you go up here, it's got the font, it's got the size of it there. And if you click on text color, I think if we change it to white, that'll really, see, I think that makes it pop a lot more than the other color. And so I want it a little bit lower, so I'm going to, if you want to change anything in a grouping, you need to ungroup everything. And so now I'm going to click on the text and I'm going to move it down just a little bit to give it some breathing room. And it shows you, see how it said 1717? That gives you the dimensions from the top and the bottom and lets you know your balls on centered. And now I need to keep my logo. You see the purple line, that means I'm in the center, which is good. And I want to keep it there. I'm going to bring up this little background, just a little tad, because I want to add one more border to it. So we have a nice border around everything. And so we go back to recently used, click on the square, and see how it's all in layers. So we're going to left click, layer to the back, because this is going behind everything else. And I want this color to match something in my logo. So maybe I want it to match that blue. So I click on the element, the square, go up to the color, and there's an element here, not an element, that's the vodka. If we use this little pick a color dealio, we can go over to anything in the picture and it will change that to that color, that element to the color. I don't want red, I'm just showing you an example. So click on it again and let's see how it looks in blue. So I want to have one other border behind everything. Let's pull that down. And that looks okay. But I'm curious because it ties into my logo. But I'm curious to see how it looks in that orange. So I'm going to click on that square again. You see the blue colors there. That's what we have currently. Go back up here to add a color, add a new color. Click there. And then find, I want to see how it looks in orange. Now, I think that looks fantastical. And now we have a finished show flyer. It shows the location, the time, the joke of the, the promotional thing that everybody in the world has seen, my logo, and let's group it all together. Remember to click over everything, drag down the cursor, release, and group. Now we can use this to really get a good look at everything. And it looks good. So now we're done. So it's time to save it. So over here is where you can change a name to whatever you want it to. It's going to be Friday's gig, whatever. And whenever you save it, you go up to share. And here are your options. What I typically do is go to download, and it usually gives you a PDF suggestion, but I don't save anything to PDF because I'm just taking the image and going to social media with it. So I change that to PNG. If you're just doing something a little bit lower in quality wise, you can like JPG. But PNG is really where you want to be, right there. So click that. Don't mess with size. Just leave it alone. And download. And now you have your image saved. But here's the catch, is that it has saved this entire image plus the sides of it. Canva is wonderful in so many things, but allowing you to crop manually is one of the things that they're not really good at. So first thing you need to do is have a drink of vodka. This is actually lemon vodka, It's Christmas, so I'm gonna have a little fun. So grab your image, and if you move it, you can see over on the bottom right side that it's showing you the dimensions. So go ahead and let it snap to the edges there, and you see 1064, 1076. So that's the, oh, actually, hold on. We need to pull it up to the top. I think it should be 1080. Okay, look at the very top. 1068, 1080. So let's resize this so you can download a clean copy of it. So go over to the left side where you see resize. And you can put a custom size in there. And if you're not sure what size it is, click on position. And it'll show you right here 1068, because it doesn't round up or down. You need to put in a whole number whenever you put the custom size. 1068, 1080. That's what we need to do. So 1068, 1080. Resize, custom size, 1068, 1080. And if you click on copy and resize, it'll open up another window with the image in the new size. And then this one stays the same. So it allows you to come back to this and keep working on that area. But if you click on resize this design, it'll just resize it here. I know it's the perfect size. I'm confident. So resize this design. Now we can take this, drag it up to the top, drag it to the bottom. Now the image is locked in top to bottom. There's no dead space anywhere. It's perfect. I look like a character from The Sopranos or Goodfellas. Oh, the ladies are looking at me. We got a beer. I'm the most interesting Pete in the world. And that's how you create a parody flyer if you want to promote something. Save it again. Go to share, PDF. We don't want PDF. PNG. Download. And now you've got a locked in solid flyer that you can post on social media for whatever you want. Hey, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, just leave that in the comments and I'll get back with you. All right, take care, everybody.